So what do you say? One more time, we get the band back together. Why don't you fist me, Mr. Davis?
Mr. Davis isn't going to fist you, Luke.
Oh, Jesus.
Ollie's going to fist you.
Oh. Yeah! Look at that.
Wow.
Yes.
We're coming for you, intangibles. This Sunday at Double or Nothing on the WrestleTalk podcast channel.
Support WrestleTalk!
Make WrestleTalk.com your homepage for all the latest breaking wrestling news. The era of Mr. Davis is over. As you just saw on last night's Quizzlemania, where all this started 9 long months ago when I fired Luke. Long-term booking. The Mega Jams reunited to take on Los Intangibles to WrestleTalk in a tag team predictions battle at this Sunday's AEW Double or Nothing. Go watch our predictions for that on the WrestleTalk podcast channel and buy a Support WrestleTalk t-shirt from WrestleShop.com. To drive up WrestleTalk ratings even more though, maybe we should have done a Creepy Doll and Reginald angle. Oh no, wait, shockingly that doesn't work in any way. Monday's terrible episode of Raw, which I've criticised for being on one of its worst runs ever since Fastlane, frequently giving the show 0s or 1s out of 5, has reportedly drawn its lowest viewership of the year at just 1.62 million viewers. Which isn't just the lowest of 2021, it's also one of the lowest figures in Raw's entire history. This was a drop of over 200,000 viewers from the previous week and also doing a disappointing number in the all-important 18 to 49 demographic. Tuesday's episode of NXT was down too, pulling in just under 700,000 viewers despite being main evented by the huge Karrion Kross vs Finn Balor NXT Championship match. This was down 5% from this time the previous year, when AEW Dynamite was scheduled directly against them. And that 18 to 49 demographic again was an abysmal 0.13. The big reason why both Raw and NXT's viewership is down so drastically is thought to be the NBA playoffs, which would have taken a significant chunk out of their audience. But the playoffs happen every year. My theory why Raw's viewership is down so much is because nothing happens. The matches are repetitive and I don't care about any of the characters. A theory somewhat supported by SmackDown's ratings, which is arguably the most dramatic soap opera epic in all of wrestling right now, with Roman Reigns being the head of everyone's table. Last Friday's show actually increased from the previous week, pulling in 1.93 million viewers, which is also up 5.6% from the same time last year, increasing in the 18 to 49 demo. What do you think WWE can do to turn Raw and NXT's ratings around? Let me know in the comments down below because I'll be replying to people for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live from out of nowhere. I'll tell you one immediate fix. Fire new lead play-by-play announcer Adnan Virk after just 6 weeks on the job. His replacement has been revealed already, which I'll tell you all about shortly. But first, here's a message from me from my suit jacket wearing days. I was so evil back then. Before we get on with the rest of the news, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Manscaped.com, the premium brand for men's grooming and hygiene products, and for shaving your head if you lose a match at WrestleJamia. True story. I asked my dad once what he would like for his birthday, and he replied £40 for a retractable ladder he had already bought. If your dad is maddeningly practical and incapable of expressing visible love, then gift him Manscaped's Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer for this year's Father's Day on June 20th. Because what says, I love you, Dad? More than a 9,000 RPM motor, 360-degree rotary dual blade system, and a cordless rechargeable lithium-ion battery that lasts up to 90 minutes, with added skin-safe technology which helps you stop getting busted open the hard way. I genuinely use mine every Saturday morning and I've never cut myself once, unlike my old trimmer, which made me look like 11 doing spooky stuff from Stranger Things. Manscaped's Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer is the best nose hair trimmer on the market and the perfect gift for your pops. So order yours now and get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use our promo code WTTV at manscaped.com. Support WrestleTalk, support Manscaped, and treat your dad. Raw's lead play-by-play commentator Adnan Virk mutually agreed to part ways with WWE on Tuesday, citing the travel grind and his other commitments as reasons why he couldn't go on. Dave Meltzer then reported that might have been more Virk than shoot, tweeting his release was actually a company decision, and now Fightful Select have more details on what happened behind the scenes. Apparently both Virk and WWE were very aware that the situation wasn't working out, and it appeared they knew it early on. Perhaps when Virk made the now infamous and seemingly totally random call on Braun Strowman's running freight train spot, "We're gonna need a bigger boat." A Jaws movie quote that has nothing to do with trains or wrestling. Fightful claimed WWE was going to release Virk regardless, but the company was hoping to keep it amicable, which is probably why the saving face wording of mutually parting ways was used. You know, like when you and your ex tell all your friends you both decided to break up, but then she goes around saying it was actually all her idea and you cried and kept buying her gifts to repair the relationship. "I want that Nintendo DS back, Megan. You have no right to keep it along with the fragments of my broken heart." But it's all coming up Millhouse for Virk, who's been publicly offered $50,000 by the adult webcam platform Can Soda to do commentary for their Fight Circus MMA promotion. We're gonna need a bigger boat for that. Still doesn't work there either. Meanwhile, WWE have officially announced Virk's replacement. Not Tom Phillips or Vic Joseph or even Michael Cole again, but the very new WWE broadcaster Jimmy Smith. Smith joined WWE early this year after 8 years of commentating for the MMA promotion Bellator and hosting American Ninja Warrior. He was actually an MMA fighter himself and will hopefully provide a much needed voice of authenticity to WWE programming. He only had his first WWE tryout in March, where he's since been working with Michael Cole, who has praised him for his versatility. And he made his WWE debut hosting NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver last month. Smith himself tweeted, "Hey guys, well it's been a busy day, flushed face emoji. Apparently WWE liked my work so far. I know I'm stepping into a new world. I was a Mr. Perfect and Bruiser Brody fanatic, however, references 30 years out of date, but no, I'll do everything I can to honor the athletes and fans. Watch Monday and judge my work for yourself." There has been quite a positive response from those familiar with Jimmy's work, but others have also pointed out his unfamiliarity with the product, with a tweet resurfacing from 2 years ago admitting he hasn't watched pro wrestling since I was in grade school. The only thing that would bring me back would be Chael Sonnen as a manager in WWE. Chael Sonnen as a manager in WWE confirmed then, I guess. How do you think Jimmy Smith will do on Raw? Let me know in the comments. Virk sadly wasn't the only person who lost their job on Tuesday though, as WWE reportedly cut over 35 employees from their corporate staff, which we can now add another big name to the list, with Alex McCarthy reporting WWE's International Vice President of Communications and lead for global PR Dan Humphries has been let go from the London office. This is presumably so Nick Khan, who has quickly become one of the most powerful people behind the scenes in WWE since being hired last August, can align overseas operations with the US base. The surprise firings were said to have left many shocked and heartbroken, and now we know what WWE told those who survived in a company-wide meeting. WrestleVotes have tweeted, "After yesterday's layoffs, I'm told WWE hosted an internal conference today with most of the power players, including Nick Khan. While the meeting was said to be organised well, it contained nothing of real substance, so status quo." Then describing the talk as a reassurance meeting, which failed pretty hard because current employees feel no more assured of anything. Maybe the assurance was that nobody's jobs are safe. PW Insider adds that although the meeting was all hands on deck, Vince McMahon was not present, being led by his new right-hand team of Khan and CFO Kristen Salen, where they also announced employees would be resuming work from the Stamford, Connecticut HQ from July, coinciding with the company's return to live touring. But WWE isn't the only major wrestling promotion with backstage turmoil. Will Ospreay had to vacate his IWGP World Heavyweight title just 6 weeks after winning it due to a neck injury. Ospreay has now tweeted an x-ray of his neck and an update on his situation. Had my physio pop over the house today, and after further digging, I'm now being referred for another MRI on my lower back as well, for fears I may have the same issue in my neck. Things ain't looking good, but I'm determined to come back this year. Thanks for all the support. Go send him some love at Will Ospreay on Twitter. Wrestling is a punishing art form to the body. Will is suffering neck injuries in the prime of his career, while ECW legend MikeyWhipwreck has just announced he's withdrawing from all public appearances due to health issues. Whipwreck debuted in ECW in 1994 as an underdog fan favourite who would go on to win the TV title, a tag team title run with Cactus Jack, and even became the youngest ever world heavyweight champion at the age of 22. But it's almost his legacy as a trainer that most people praise him for now, being behind the careers of Amazing Red, Tony Nese, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Jay Lethal, Trent Barretta, and John Silver. I really recommend Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast interview with Whipwreck from 2012 to learn more about him. But the brutal style he worked to compensate for being a smaller guy in possibly the most hardcore era of wrestling ever appears to have caught up with him, as he's tweeted a statement explaining why he is now stopping all public appearances. Number 1, can't drive at night anymore. Number 2, crippling social anxiety. Number 3, I have a hard time hearing and it's embarrassing, even if it shouldn't be. If I say what to my wife one more time, she may strangle me. 4, I'm fat. We all know this, but it's embarrassing even if it shouldn't be. Yes, I hear the butterbean comments at conventions, lol. 5, I get confused easily. It's happened where I'll walk around for 20 to 30 minutes in a store with no recollection of what I was doing or where I was. 6, I stumble over my words quite often and get lost about what I was trying to say or what the topic was. 7, I have pretty intense mood swings. I'm able to mostly keep them in check, but sometimes it's a big challenge. 8, I'm beginning to stutter and stammer a lot. It's embarrassing, even if it shouldn't be. 9, I have major migraines practically every day for 6 to 8 hours behind my right eye, and it's getting harder and harder to deal with. It's worn me down over the years, and it sucks. Keep in mind, I've had 14 concussions that I remember, and they could very well be playing a huge part in all this, or they may have nothing to do with it. I'm leaning towards yes, but honestly, it's probably a combination of things. My wife is a saint, and I can't thank her enough for her love and patience in dealing with me. All things considered, I'm blessed beyond words and thankful for her and the kids. It's a sobering reminder of the sacrifice wrestlers make for our entertainment. You can say thank you to Mikey at MikeyWhipwreck_ on Twitter. It's rather awkward to transition out of that into me dressing up as Maki Ito, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There was no AEW Dynamite last night, and I missed it so much because the NBA playoffs have bumped it to Friday. Expect another low rating there. So I'll be doing Oli Kawaii on Monday's Double or Nothing review. You asked for it. Now go watch last night's Quizzlemania. I turned babyface.
Hello. Oh, yeah, don't be sad. It's only Quizlemania.
He smells terrible.
Oh, no.
Always.
He is an absolute asshole.
That's the
He
pug
is my
way.
son.
That's the
Oh,
pug
but he
way.
is
You
my
have a
son.
pug too.
I
Yeah.
love him.
He is my son. So,
Look at him. Oh, he looks so nervous.